What's up, everyone, and welcome to a special toy room update. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a big wrestling figure collector. As you can see behind me, I have the new generation setup, over here, and I'll be taking you guys on a little bit of a brief tour of my toy room. So this is something that I'm kind of doing for myself, but I thought that maybe others can enjoy because I'm in the process of rearranging my toy room, which is actually my old bedroom in my parents' house. So what I'm doing is trying to keep myself accountable of the changes that I'm making and making changes that are easy so that when I'm here, I can maximize the most amount of my time while I'm here, unboxing and being able to put up new figures. So real quick, I'm going to show you what we're looking at of what I need to change and then give you a brief tour and show you guys kind of what I'm doing. And I'm not expecting these to be long every week. This is just going to be something that, if whenever I get the chance to come here and, work on my toy room, I just want to do like an update on what I've done. So the first thing I'm going to do is give you guys a preview of what I'm working off. And then I'm going to give you the tour to show you what I'm working with in terms of spacing. And then I'll kind of just update on what I'm intending to do over the next few weeks. Okay, to start off the toy room tour, when you come up to the stairs to my bedroom, this is what you see immediately on your left-hand side. You really can't see it until you really get up the stairs, but I'm a big fan of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, and this is a lot of their stuff. So there's more on the second shelf. This needs to be completely reorganized. I have to, as you can see, on top of my spinner belt, I have another shelf of stuff there. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that spinner belt because on the fourth shelf, I have other figures, but I still have these three major figure podcast things to put on there. There's also on the right-hand side is a Smart Mark Sterling card. So that all has to go up onto these two shelves. I might try to extend it to the third, but they're not too tall, so a lot of reorganizing has to be done in this section. So as you walk up my stairs, the first thing you're greeted with is the WWE current roster figures. So what I have here is the SmackDown roster. As you can see, these are all the elites that I have for SmackDown as of right now. I'm probably trying to see if I'm missing anybody, if we can't see anybody in the back there. So that's there are some basics in there as well. Santos Escobar is peeking back there. Sami Zayn's hand is blocking him. So that's SmackDown, and of course, if I did SmackDown, I obviously have Raw. Now, keep in mind, as you can see in the background, it's not the greatest looking setup. My air conditioner was supposed to come out of here because it's broken, but then the paint chipped. It's a whole big thing. But this is the Raw roster that I have in elite form right now. I also have some other figures that I have to put in here, but as you can obviously see, spacing is becoming an issue. So as you can see, there is a little bit of a spacing issue here because, there you can see the Judgment Day and RK Bro and Omos and everyone. But you can see R-Truth hiding behind there. Apollo, who I know is technically on NXT, but, whatever at this point. Otis in the background, Ciampa and Gargano. We got the Street Profits and everything. So as you can see, there's no space left on these shelves. And I do have other members of the Raw roster, like the Good Brothers, that I just haven't had a chance to put out because there is not enough room, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Right above my air conditioner right now is my current AEW collection. As you can see, it's not too huge because it's a work in progress. A lot of these figures just came out. You'll see I have a lot more AEW figures to put out at this point. Here are the AEW tag teams. SCU back there. Making sure we can see everybody. Best Friends, Dark Order, the Bucks, and Lucha Bros. Up on top here, in what's almost like a mini faction kind of a thing, because I have the spacing in there. You got the Shield and the New Day. These are the WWE Retrofest figures. I love these, and I love the packaging, so I kept them all in. That's the entire collection. It's also a Kane and a Baron Corbin up there, which I might move out of the way eventually. So this is the factions shelf. As you can see, there's going to be some spacing in there, and I'll tell you why when I show you stuff in a little bit. DX, that's every member of DX, pretty much ever. These are the new DX ones that kind of just recently came out, and it's the Invasion. of WCW when they rode the tank in. All right. There's an empty shelf here. I'll show you what was there, but what's here right now is the Four Horsemen, but they're going to move to a different shelf. You might even see later on in this specific one when I show you what I've done today, which might not be a lot more because I've actually done quite a bit, but we'll see. The Triple Threat from ECW. Evolution on the left, the Nation of Domination on the right. Pretty soon I'll be able to replace that Godfather with the new one when it comes out, and I will be ecstatic. It's the Corporation. And you can see the Brood. If you notice, it's the Corporate Ministry on the entire shelf. I have to look it up. I don't remember if Ken Shamrock was in the Corporate Ministry or not. I don't know if he was in the Corporation and then turned, but I had to double check because I have a Ken Shamrock. And the Wyatts down here. Another empty shelf. I'm going to be filling that in pretty soon, hopefully. Okay, so then on the left-hand side of, as you're walking through my room, this is the Wall of Jericho. See, 3 of his AEW figures. You got the Painmaker. I got the little bit of the Bubbly. There's, Demo God Chris Jericho. Another shelf. A lot of WWE/WCW versions of Chris Jericho in here. First ever Undisputed Champion. The Festival of Friendship with Kevin Owens. One of the coolest sets ever. And some more Jerichos. Including his debut, Raw as War figure. And down here, that's the one of 3,000 Chris Jericho AEW figure. On the opposite side, and I'm sorry the lighting is going to be so bad here because actually 2 of my bulbs burnt out before I did this. I should have done a little research. As you can see, this is also a work in progress because I have things just laying down here. Some more Major Pod stuff. This is all the major bendies from Mark, Matt, and Brian. So this is, kind of just random stuff. And I have to figure out what I'm doing with everything. So this is a Macho Man. You'll see why in a minute. So there's some Micro Brawlers. I got the Headbangers. There's a Steve Austin Funko Pop back here. There's a RVD Micro Brawler in the back. Right? That's the RVD one? Yeah, there we go. Random AJ Styles. There's the packaging for the little bit of the Bubbly Chris Jericho. In the front here, there's Andre the Giant in the ring cart, which is really cool. Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse, all the characters that are associated with that. And then this is just Macho Man Central. This is a bunch of Macho Man figures that I have. A lot of the WCW figures, some of the newer WWE Elites, the Macho and Hogan here. As you can see, I'm going to try to get a little closer. The Mega Powers, the Slim Jim Macho Man. This is a Macho Man Slim Jim holder. With the Macho Man bust on the front of it with the crown that came in one of the WWE crates, I believe. Macho and Liz on the ring cart. And if you pan this way, these are all the Macho Man Elites that I have as of right now. Some basics in there too. That's an entire Macho Man shelf. And you'll notice there's going to be a lot more Macho Mans coming up soon. I also have a couple of them coming up the wall here. Some Micro Brawlers and such. Then also continuing this wall, though, we have the Attitude Era shelf. As you can see, Undertaker dressed as Kane right there, which I think is a badass figure. So that's the a lot of the major members of the Attitude Era up there. Dude Love in the background, yeah. Kurt Angle up there, and Jericho is actually up in the corner here too. Behind John. He's very hard to see, but he's up there. But he's a little bit more prominently featured on this shelf. This is more of like the part 1 of like almost like the new gen era. I say part 1 because I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. I'm kind of building the second part of this shelf, which should really kind of go on the next shelf, and I might actually do that and swap some stuff up. But we'll see in a second. So that's some of the pretty major players in the Ruthless Aggression era. So, some RA for you. All the way in the back, you really can't tell because the lighting isn't good. There's a Hurricane and a John Morrison. You barely even see the Hurricane. That's crazy. There he is. All right. Next is the Royal Rumble winners. These are a bunch of guys who have won the Royal Rumble. I have Braun in there because he won the Greatest Royal Rumble in the corner in the back. He might come down eventually, but so these are guys who have won the WWE Royal Rumble, my favorite event. So that's why I have a shelf specifically dedicated to that. Down here is the ECW shelf. It's a little hard to see because of this lighting. So it's the ECW guys. Trying to focus up here a little bit better. Cell phones have come a long way, huh? All right. Then we turn the corner, and this is where a lot of work is in the process of being done. So this shelf was originally a bunch of, you'll see, there was a staging up there. So this is a bunch of like announcers and stuff like that. There's Vince, Heenan, Lawler, the Stooges. There's referee Danny Davis in the background. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with the shelf. You can see the dust on there that really needs to be dusted. I don't exactly know what I'm doing with the shelf yet. I'm going to figure it out in a little bit, hopefully. This is a WCW shelf. So this is one of the things I'm hoping to fill in today. This is kind of a mismatch of WCW guys. I'm going to move the Four Horsemen from that faction wall over here and put them in with this here. This is another WCW shelf, but it's more like WCW versus NWO. So you can see there's a Conan in the back there, right? Custom Rick Rude that I made with the head from the Rick Rude that came in the newest set, and I have it on a JBL body. So I think it kind of works really well for the NWO Rick Rude. The NWO side. But of course, the NWO wouldn't be the NWO without its foes. And that's what they're facing. So, you can even see there's a couple of, 2 Macho Mans on the shelf, 2 Lugers on the shelf, I think, 2 Stings. So, it's just a kind of cool tribute to that era. Another spot here on the corner for somebody that I'll find some room for. I also have some other guys that are going up on these shelves. You see the Eddies up here. I have Rey Mysterio and Hoovy just kind of laying in there for right now. We'll get back to that later, though. This is another shelf that's in the process of being changed up. This is a collection that I have called the Hall of Champions. So it's every WWE champion ever, anyone to ever hold the championship. So real quick, as you can see over here, my room's a mess. I'm in the process of doing all this over. But right here, this is, as you can see here, this is the Hall of Champions list. Every WWE champion to ever hold the title. This is everyone, every title change ever, right? Onto the back of the paper, then the World Heavyweight Championship and the Universal Championship. So that's everyone who's ever held the championship. So I want to represent all of them in figure form at some point. So here's kind of like the start. This is like more of like the Attitude Era guys. These are more of the current generation of wrestlers who have held the championship. And on the opposite side here, this is what I'm building right now. This is where I want to have all of them. And this is some of the, kind of like Attitude Era. And as you can see, that big Andre in the corner, some of the, older school heavyweight champions. Okay, so over here we have the ECW original San Francisco Toymaker figures. It's a small collection as of right now because it's in the middle of being built. I need to get a lot more, and I'm going to need another shelf for that, which is probably where I'm going to take this shelf. It's a miscellaneous shelf. I'll probably end up taking that down, putting these guys in, where they, quote-unquote, belong eventually. But these are just cool figures that I have that I don't have room for on my shelf as of right now. Speaking of the Attitude Era, this is almost like a backstage of the during the Attitude Era. So you have the APA sitting at their table, the Dudleys, the Hardys over here, Edge and Christian, the Undertaker, William Regal, British Bulldog, Ken Shamrock. So it's all just old school, Mankind and Rock in the front, just Attitude Era guys, just backstage, just milling about, I guess. Underneath that is going to be hard to see too because of lighting as well, but this is the basically this is by era, like just the major wrestlers. So you can see this is like the 80s in the front, the Demolition in the back, all the way in the back, guys like Classy Freddie Blassie, Rocky Soulman Johnson, the Hart Foundation, the Junkyard Dog, Kamala, Typhoon, Don Morocco. So those that's that section. Okay, so then as you can see, we kind of get a little bit more current. In the back, though, it's more of the 80s guys. So
It's Brutus Beefcake, Greg Valentine, Honky Tonk Man, Legion of Doom. There's a big space in between Honky. I might have to go in there and fix that. Legion of Doom with Paul Ellering. That's Nikolai Volkov, Powers of Pain, Warlord. And then, yeah, as you can see now, we're starting to get a little bit more current. I'm probably going to have to move the shelf around because I just got that Dynamite kid in, so I want to put him next to Davey there on the left in the corner above Diesel. So that's, kind of getting closer, like the new generation, closer to the Attitude Era. As you can see, I had all that Attitude Era stuff on the other shelf earlier. This is like another miscellaneous mismatch. I'm going to put lights in here eventually, but in the back, there's New School 6, who actually has to come out of there because I'm going to put him with some of the figs that I'm putting out now. I can't even see who that is in the corner. That's Jake Roberts in the corner with his snake. Dusty, The Rock, Jeff Hardy, DDP, Kama Mustafa. I think that's Sid all the way here in the corner. The prototype John Cena there in the front. The Ultimate Warrior's retirement figure. Sorry this is so wobbly. I don't know why focus isn't great. But that's that. Like I said earlier, these are the other guys from the Hall of Champions. And above that is the new Raw set that just came out with that Raw background. I wanted to put people from that time period up there. So as you can see, we got all these guys. That's the Owen Hart that recently was released by AEW. I'm going to try to build my own Owen Hart with the other head and kind of make them a little bit more current to this time period. I'm going to have to be maybe like my big first custom job. So we'll see how that turns out. But that's these over here. Briefly up on top, we have the Ghostbuster set that came out, which is really cool. There's a Rock on the right-hand side. There's also a Triple H. Those are the Figure Arts figures, but the Triple H fell, and I never put him back up. But yeah, so that's that. Okay, so over here, we'll start from, actually we can start from the bottom. This is what the new shelf that I'm building today with a bunch of post-invasion. So I guess that's, Ruthless Aggression era guys, more of them to go. So I'll show you some of the ones that I'm going to be working with, including that 6 that we saw before. Wrestling Legends, the female shelf. So these are all uncontracted to WWE superstars. I know Lita and Trish are technically, as of this recording, having a WrestleMania match, but they're not there full time. So, kind of like the women's legends. Molly Holly in the corner there. I want to get her because she's a super cool figure. You can barely even see her over Steph. There we go. The current WWE women's roster. Bayley with damage control there. Bianca in the center. Ronda and Shayna. So that's them. Above that is the Bret Hart shelf. Bret's one of my favorites, so I get almost every figure that's ever been released of Bret. So this is a good representation of his WWE ones that have been released so far. And above that is the Finn Balor shelf. I'm a huge Finn Balor fan. He's my number one guy right now in WWE. So that's the Finn Balor shelf, all the Demon figures. Over here, as I kind of hinted at before, this is the new generation ring. So I built the entire ring. There's the entryway. There's Gorilla and Mean Gene. As you can see, there's some stuff that's like desk stuff just still up there. I got to clean this whole thing off. I just wanted to put this ring here because I had it built in my apartment. There's the announce desk with the Macho Man that came with it. I also put Vince next to him. It's a little turtle bank, old school. But yeah, that's just what I have over there. I'm going to try to get more new gen. I'm going to try to get more guys from this time period. So I have the Undertaker there up on the steps. I'm going to try to get more guys into this display eventually. You'll see what I have to draw from. And the final stop on the tour is the Hasbro/Retro section. So these are the WWE ones that recently came out, mostly. The WWE Retro figures in the WWE Retro ring. See more down there. There's also the Heels and Faces, Brian Myers and Matt Cardona with them. So there's Matt Cardona there and Zack Ryder in the same shot, which is cool. So this is a mix of WWE Retros and the WWE original Hasbro figures. You can see the Rhythm and Brews Greg Valentine is up there. That is a retro. So is the Heart Foundation up in the back in the corner. Those are retros, but they're mostly the WWE Hasbros. And then down here is the rest of the Hasbros slash retros slash Zombie Sailors figures in there too that really fit right in. That Jimmy Hart and that Dino Bravo really kind of just fit right in with everyone else. They don't stick out. They look like they are straight with the collection. I wanted to mix these all in because I think that they all kind of do kind of mix in really well. There's a Zombie Sailor Jeff Jarrett. You know, these don't look like they're out of, you know, that they're anything different than the ones that are being made by Mattel. So here are some of the other ones, and I'll be filling this in when I get more as they're being released. Okay, so that's the tour, the very brief version of it. I did promise to do this a really long time ago, and I tried to edit it, and it looked like crap, so I figured I'll just give a very brief tour to open everything up. So now that I've given you the tour, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be doing every week. So the idea is that this is a work in progress. So I showed you guys before that on the shelf with all those factions, there were some holes in there. There was also some holes in the WCW shelf. And obviously, I have a big plan for the other shelving with the Raw logo up at top, the old Raw entrance. That's going to be where all the Hall of Champions figures are, if it's big enough. And if it's not, I might have to rethink it. So, you know, you'll get to see that as I update everything. But here's the update. Also, I did say the secondary Ruthless Aggression era shelf has to be built too. So if you keep asking yourself, what do you mean by built? I mean that I have to pack everything out and, you know, put my figures there. And if you keep thinking, well, what figures are you talking about? Well, let's take a look. Because this is a stack of all the unopened figures I have. So as you can see, those are Major Wrestling Figure Podcast unopened figures in there. I have AEW ones in the back. These are old school WWE characters. So it's the Coliseum Collection, Terry Funk and Hulk Hogan. I also have a DiBiase in here, Mr. T and Hulk Hogan as well. So I have to figure out spots for them. Probably more on the miscellaneous shelf. This is where all those other Ruthless Aggression era guys are going to end up going. As you can see, there's more down here. This is all WCW, so I said I have to fill in that WCW shelf. So there's another Luger, Mean Mark Callis, Big Van Vader. We got the Booty Man or the Boogie Man, whatever he was called back then, and Ricky Steamboat. These are current WWE characters that I don't have spots for as of right now. A secondary Kevin Owens. I have the more recent one up there. So I might have to find a different spot for him. ECW Cactus Jack. These are more Attitude Era kind of figures. So Chainsaw Charlie. So once I get a little bit more room, I can figure out a place to put them as well. And finally, this is crazy, but in these bags, they're full of figures as well, all in individual bags and stuff. This is more recent WWE elites of guys who are no longer contracted with WWE. So I'm going to find a shelf for that era at one point, or space for that era at one point. And there's another bag, as you can see down here. There's bags within bags. There's another one in the back. There's one over here with some TNA figures that need to be cleaned up, and I should be able to display if they clean up the right way. And there's probably room behind this box for another shelf that I can make a little bit more space. So that's what needs to be done. So as of right now, what I'm going to be working on is the following: this Ruthless Aggression era shelf. This display right here with all of the new gen ring and entryway. I want to fill this up with more figures to put in there from that era. So I'm going to try to do that. I think I have the WrestleMania 9 Hogan somewhere. I can kind of put in there and put like different Hogans in the Hall of Champions display. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud here. See, this is what I'm planning on. I want to fill out a little bit more of this miscellaneous shelf down here. It looks full, but I'm going to be taking some figures out of there. So I want to kind of fix that up. This miscellaneous shelf is going to come down here, and I'm going to probably replace that, all these guys at one point, and probably bag them up and put them out when I have the chance. But I'm working on figuring out what has to go there.
And finally, on the faction wall, I have this shelf here and this shelf here on the bottom. I'm thinking I'm going to put the inner circle up here, but I'm going to figure out a different faction to put over there as well, to take place of where the NWO was over here. So next time, when I'm here, I'll show you guys the progress that I made with everything. So hopefully, by the time you see this room the next time, there'll be more figures put out. This has been Albert Albanese for the Slam Sessions. I'll see you guys soon.